it's not saying, hey, we're live. Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another one of these fucking chaps. We're done with Chainsmoke Your Problems Away, Smokepit Fairytales 4. Tonight we're talking to Matt Kupcikevicius. I'm not pronouncing his fucking last name because I butcher it. Like, I think it's Matt Kupcikevicius.
Kupcikevicius.
Because Matt Cuck slaps bitches. Cucks them and slaps them.
I cut and slap bitches, yes.
Yeah.
Case in point, don't be a bitch around me.
Yeah, and you were one of my Phil characters in this book, and like
and every other book, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of use you as a fucking shotgun, where it's like, all right, fucking, I already got these people in. I'm gonna get these other fucking Phil people in, and when these people inevitably fall out, I'm gonna bring in Matt to fill in the fucking gaps because I know I can fucking rely on him for that kind of shit. But in this one, you played the bass player in the jazz band. The Viking command ship, fucking most of the 1MC background noises, which you don't really hear unless you pay attention, but they're fucking there.
Like, yeah, you
a bunch of dudes on the radio.
Very quiet.
And then Beale in the last few chapters.
And then I was also the pig crew chief also for one of them. The other one I was dealing with an issue that. And
well, the other thing with that though too is like, all right, they're probably on different pigs. They're probably different crew chiefs. I'm going to use two different voice actors for each one.
Which makes sense.
Yeah,
but yeah, and then I got my death scene with Beale, which
fucking good.
Oh, dude, it was fantastic. Like, I'm sorry, but I like. Granted, yes, Steven with the gargling. Well, basically.
Well, he won't work himself for those. Like, he fucking like take the water bottle and deep throats it and then squeezed it while he's screaming. And like, you have to do some serious physical shit to.
Yeah, and then there's me basically screaming to the point that my vocal cords start fucking bleeding.
Yeah, but we're done with Smokepit Fairytales 4. It was a ride. That was the longest book. It had the most people in it. I think. There might be more people in book 9, but it's definitely the most so far.
I was going to say it's either going to be book 8 or 9 that has more people than this, and then on top of that, probably book 12.
Yeah, but so far, this is the biggest one. This is the biggest book we got, and it's got the most things. The other thing I didn't really notice until I started doing the second war chest is the last 6 books together are longer than the first 6 books together. So once we get to book 6, by the end of that, on paper we'll be halfway through, but we won't actually be halfway through yet.
Yeah, we're technically going to be a little bit more than halfway through. Paper what? Like page number wise?
No. Page number wise, we'll be less than halfway through at the end of book 6.
Really?
Yeah, because books 7 through 12 is a couple 100,000 words longer than books 1 through 6.
Huh. Shit.
Yeah.
So probably maybe like a third-ish of the way through book 7?
Yeah. Which that'll be a fun time. No spoilers, anybody at home, but
yeah, we tend to put a spoiler. We tend to put a spoiler warning up before we start talking about those.
Yeah, we'll do that the last 10 minutes of this, whenever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
I mean, and no spoilers, but like book 7 is my favorite book out of the series.
Oh, dude,
that's for way down the line. Right now, we're talking about 4, which Travis and I were talking about it last night, where it's like kind of an even split between life in 29 Palms and life on a fucking boat. And you spent a lot of time on ships, so I think you can appreciate the the fucking Navy about this book.
Yeah. So Trip barely. I think you only did 1-ish tour on a ship when you're on the Mew.
I did 2 Mews and then a bunch of at-sea exercises. I want to say I've probably spent like actually sleeping in a rack maybe 2.5 years on a boat.
Okay, yeah.
I spent enough time on ship.
Yeah,
more so than most sailors that I know, because most sailors that I know were green side and never saw a fucking boat. So
yeah, where I was blue side basically up until the last 6 months of my time in. Then I got sent shore side because my knee was fucked and a bunch of other shit, and I got to work on
as it do.
As it do, and I got to work on refurbishing Sea-Wiz and the 25 millimeter, which was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I got
the angry R2D2.
Oh, dude, and I got that down so well that like our normal workday was like from 7 in the morning to like 3 in the afternoon, but we could only do so much technically like work hours, but basically like the amount of maintenance that would equal up to those many hours didn't matter how quickly we got it done in. And I was usually done by lunch.
Nice. That's one of those things I think's funny because, like, you hear about it a lot more with aviation, where it's like for every in-flight hour, it takes 30 man hours of maintenance, and it's like, yeah, it takes 30 man hours of maintenance, but you got 40 people working on it, so like it's done in 45 minutes. Like hours are like dollars, right?
Yeah,
it's not like time where it's like, hey, I need $40. Here you go. I need 40 hours. Here are 40 hours.
Yeah, and it's like outside of the parts of the maintenance where you actually have to let it sit for an X amount of time, what they say takes so long is usually written by someone who never put their fucking hands on it.
Well, engineers and fucking maintenance guys, that Venn diagram, the
there is very little overlap.
Yeah,
like if it's like the circle diagram where they overlap each other.
Yeah,
and normally you have like a nice little vagina shape in the center. This one, it's just the lines are barely touching.
Yeah.
But dude, like I had a blast with this book, just like I did with the other three, as well as doing the re-recordings for book one.
Right. And fucking one of the things I like about this one too is like it's mostly a slice of life with a little bit of like deployment fucking shit, and then like the last arc is not some Thatch and Simoon bullshit. It's like, I'm gonna kill off all these characters except for like the ones that like really have a fucking name, and even then, like some of them gotta go.
Yeah. Case in point, Beale.
Yeah. or fucking Yorick, who, no spoilers, but his name is Yorick for a very specific reason that didn't come up in this book.
Poor Yorick. I knew him. But also, if you can't tell, I ended up getting my fucking thing from Flash Gets in the mail the other day.
What is that? Yeah, what is that?
Hate Monger's Globules. Basically, it had the hoodie.
Nice.
It had the hoodie, the shirt, and the little Venn diagram of the guy, which I have right up here.
That's fun.
And then it also has the came with this little fucking Hate Mace keychain.
He was the guy that did the Furry Crusades, right?
Those guys,
yeah. Which, by the way, people at home, later, not now, you stay here, watch this. But he does a great series where it's
the 40K Black Templars,
and they're fighting furries.
Yeah, and they are fantastic.
And it's as beautiful as you want it to be.
Yeah, the two guys with Flash Gets, they do fantastic work. It is not safe for work.
No, it is safe for work. They censor it all out with totally friendly, YouTube friendly content.
and it is fantastic. If you haven't yet, not now, later. Go watch their Space King series. It is hilarious.
Yeah, that was good. That was fun shit. And it's kind of weird because like I don't want to say that I'm edging into Warhammer because phrasing. But like I've read a couple of the books, and I don't want to get into Warhammer because I'm already into BattleTech, and it's like, dude, I can't do two of these things.
Well, not only are you already into BattleTech, but you're also into fucking goddamn it, Johnny Rico.
Oh, that's a book and a movie. There's not like a whole lot to that. I mean, like every once in a while, I like to argue with people on the fucking internet. And the anime was really good. Did you ever see the anime?
I'd seen bits and pieces of it.
It's on YouTube. You should watch it. It's like 8 episodes long. Fucking, it's all fan edits. I don't know if Sunrise, the company who made it, that studio also did Cowboy Bebop and Gundam and all that shit. So like you got Gundam doing.
I might be able to find out on one of those anime streaming websites that isn't technically legal.
Well, I mean, Sunrise hasn't said anything about it since the fucking 80s, so I don't know if anybody that works there knows that it exists. Is what I'm getting at. But there's a lot of like fan fucking shit on the YouTube. There's a couple good ones where they just took the original shit and then fucking redid the audio a little bit so it sounds good. Made it look like it wasn't recorded on a VHS in fucking 1993, which it was, but it sticks relatively close to the story of the book. It's not on it like it was the book, because you can't make a fucking the Starship Troopers, the book, you can't make something that you can't make visual media that's going to be true to the book because 90% of that book was Rico's thoughts in his fucking head, and
a slight fever dream.
Yeah, so most of that is going to be whittled down to be like the action in that book isn't a whole lot. It's pretty short. So like if you wanted to make something out of it, you got to stretch and elaborate. And the anime did a pretty good job at that. Now,
definitely
granted, some things go off.
3.
Yeah. But it's really good. Fucking the voice acting in it's Japanese, so I don't know if it's good or not. Because I'm reading it. Because it never got a dub. The music's fucking fantastic. They're actually in mech suits. The bugs are weird, but they still have technology and stuff. Because like in the books, they had spaceships and missiles and fucking all that fun shit. As to where in the movie they're just like big ants.
And then on that topic, also anyone who says, "Oh, Starship Troopers isn't realistic," we would easily be able to defeat the bugs. Have you, my brother in Christ, have you played Helldivers?
No, that was the thing about the book that I didn't realize until I read it again last year, where one of the things in it is I think that they were setting Heinlein gave us in that a society that fucking works on itself, right? So like you have to you didn't have to be a veteran to be a citizen, but like it really fucking helped. And pretty much the way it set up was if you wanted to be active in the state, you had to like work your way up from the bottom to the top. You couldn't just like come in and hook over into a high position, right?
AKA no nepotism.
Right. But the problem with that was though, is like it, from what the book tells us, it came up with a really good, not perfect, but like a really good fucking model for how a society should run itself. However, the problem was they got in a fight with these bugs, and the bugs, they were saying from the egg being laid to it being a fighting, soldier took about 2 years, right? And they could do it in mass, and they didn't have to do it all at once. They could just lay eggs and have them incubate forever until they need them. And it's like, hey, listen, I need this egg to be fighting in 2 years. Let's start fucking hatching this shit now. As to where a guy on the ground, like it's going to take 20 years because like you have to wait till you're 18 to join, and then you're in training for 2 or 3 years before you ever go to the fucking front.
Excuse me, bullshit. There was clearly a child in that recruiting program.
Yeah, I'm talking about the book. Anyway, the thing though is when the bug war kicked off, and they don't like say this next part in the book, but it's hinted at, and it made me go, oh fuck. Well, the war kicked off, and the book says that nobody was getting out and going into politics because they wanted to keep fighting the bugs. But people that were in politics or still running the state were, getting old and retiring and dying off because, age or whatever. And it hints at that they're starting a fucking forever war. But what if none of the soldiers want to stop fighting and they don't want to go into the state? So it's like, hey, listen, I built this scenario for a great functioning state. And then I give you a scenario for something that would fucking break it. Because if everyone's fighting the war, no one's going to go into fucking politics. And if no one's going into politics in this fucking forever war, then where do we get people from?
Yep. But then also, wasn't the book also basically supposed to be like it was like making a mockery of like fascism or some shit like that? I can't remember.
No, stop getting your information from memes.
No, I'm trying to remember exactly. Like the author of Starship Troopers was like, I forgot. He was like, it was supposed to be, I can't remember what it was, but like when he saw the movie, he was like, no, this isn't anywhere near what I was trying to portray.
He died 20 years before the movie came out.
Okay. Why do I remember some fucking?
Because there's a lot of fucking idiots on the internet.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's funny about Heinlein though is, right now, the only thing you really hear is Heinlein's fascist because I read a straw man argument about fucking the book Starship Troopers, right? But if you move back from that and you talk to people about Heinlein from other books, you can kind of tell what book they read by what their view on him is. So if they read Stranger in a Strange Land, they're not going to say he's a fascist. They're going to say that he was a fucking hippie. And if you read what Sixth Column, and that's the only book you read, you're like, well, Heinlein was obviously a fucking like anti-religious fucking pro-CIA fucking type fucking, this guy's a fucking Fed. And I think that maybe he just liked fucking exploring ideas and writing books.
Yeah, which,
and what's the funniest thing though about right now is, everybody says, "Oh, Heinlein was a fascist because of Starship Troopers." Isaac Asimov, and I quote, called him a flaming liberal. So it's like, I'm not sure what you're getting. I've read up on Heinlein, not just his stuff. I do think that he would have been a liberal elitist. Like, he would have been the guy that says, "Hey, you have to vote for Hillary Clinton because like she's, what the state needs." I think he would be that kind of guy. But fascist, like, no, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, although, if he was like, "Oh no, you need to vote for insert Democrat here or liberal here," you're gonna be like, and it's just the whole Peter. Why?
Yeah. But that's just my thoughts. Fucking, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, apparently he was all over the map and swung in every fucking different direction, depending on who you talk to about him. But, he died before he got a podcast.
But, yeah, dude, no. And then I just love how everyone has always just been like, oh, the whole thing of like, all this other, basically any right-leaning shit bad, and then you have something like Helldivers 2 come about where everyone's just like, no. If it's not human, it's fucking dead.
Is the cure to male loneliness space racism?
Yes.
I personally think that the cure for interhuman racism would be space racism, because it's like, I mean, I don't want to say that racism doesn't exist, but like, fucking, like our kind of people's fucking like friend group where it's me, fucking, I'm a mostly white dude. I got my black friend, I got my fucking Filipino guy, and then I got either an Arab or a Jewish dude, and we don't care who you're racist towards as long as you are, and you're going to be in the group anyway. But I think even then we'd get rid of like the actual bad racism if we had aliens. So instead of hating you because you're black or Chinese or whatever, I'm cool with you now, and we hate Martians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, and the biggest thing is that like the people that get pissy when they see friend groups like the ones that we have, the ones that we're a part of as well as the ones that we're, in without the other, is that when people hear us, joking with each other, saying the funny racist shit, and they start flipping their shit, not realizing that, they were focusing on what the white guy said, the black guy, the Chinese guy, the Filipino, anyone else but the white guy just said something that was like 100 times worse.
Yeah, well, that, and like while you're complaining about it on Twitter, we're at a barbecue and laughing about it.
Yeah, we're having a barbecue, laughing at each other, talking shit about the other food that the other person made while we're currently like devouring it.
Yeah. Speaking of space racism, though, one of the things that I think is fucking hilarious is like right now, I didn't think of this till just now, but there's a twofer on this, and we're gonna go into the real one after this. The first part's kind of a joke, but like, we're up for a new pope right now, and everyone, because of that channel, History Channel Hub, where he had a video talking about how the emperor of the fucking the emperor from fucking Warhammer was actually Jeb Bush. There's this whole movement for Jeb Bush to be the next pope.
Okay, so here's the thing. I am a big Warhammer 40K fan.
Yeah. The
God Emperor protects. But holy fuck, do I not want to be anywhere near the 40K timeline.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though, because like everybody's like, hey, what universe would you live in if you lived in anywhere? I'd live in Star Wars. Cool, you're going to Alderaan.
Yeah.
Or the other one is like, I love the one where people are like, I'd go live in Star Trek. It's like, that like Star Trek's our timeline, and then World War III happens, and then the eugenics wars happen, and then Mad Max happens, and then Earth gets their shit together and starts building spaceships. Like, it's not a good time most of that timeline.
Yeah, no, and like my biggest thing is like, send me to like a high fantasy thing where yes, life's gonna suck, but at least I have somewhat of a fucking chance.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there isn't anything off the top of my head, universe-wise, like fictional universe. But hey, I want to go in that area.
Yeah, but like if I were like going into that, like if I were to get isekai, I would want to go to a like low to mid to like slightly high fantasy, mainly because
Question: Is Last Action Hero an isekai?
yes,
Okay.
because he was taken from his world, thrust into ours with completely new rules,
That time I got reincarnated into an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
And he had to fight his way back to his home reality. Yeah. But yeah, no, I would want to get put into like a low to semi-high fantasy world. It doesn't need to have magic or anything like that, but like the medieval style and everything like that, I would fucks with, because mainly it's like, okay, so I can either A, go be an adventurer and make a decent amount of gold and then buy a farm and basically tell everybody to fuck off.
Yeah. Also, real quick, John Murphy in the comments, love your content, bro. Love that I can relate to it. Fucking shit always brings me back in a good way. Hey, John fucking Murphy, thanks for fucking hanging out, man. I'm glad we're tickling your whatever.
Tickling the fancy.
Tickling. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, fucking yeah, going into an alternate fucking universe, like there's not many fucking good consequences, because it's always like I have to go into this like despotic fucking like hellscape and fix it. Like, did you ever see Tanya the Evil?
Dude, yes. I'm watching. Like, I'm rewatching it.
Like, I got isekai'd into being a 13-year-old Harry Potter chick, but I'm in World War I and a space witch.
And I'm also trying. And I'm also trying to. And the thing is that they were like a Japanese company man who never had any time off, and the only reason why they are now doing what they're doing is so that they can get time off and get away from the front line. Of like, no, listen, I don't want to do anything. Why do they keep having me do things?
Yeah, like no, I'm good. I don't want to do that. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the Last Action Hero universe, because like I don't know. I think I'm important, but in reality, I'd be like the guy on the side of the road that like is running with his head tucked down because there's a firefight going on, or a drive-by, and I'm like, oh no, there's
knowing my luck there, I'd be the guy that's sitting at a coffee shop, just having a coffee, and I'd catch a stray round to the face.
Oh no, not even that. You'd be goon number 3. You'd be shooting at Schwarzenegger, and he blows up a fucking ice cream truck, and you get murked by a goddamn snow cone. Ice that guy. It's like, dude, I love that movie. So, dude, it bothers me because like that movie didn't do well in the box office, and like I don't know.
So good.
I don't know if that's why he got into politics, because that movie bombed, and he was like, "All right, well, guess my movie career is over. Better start looking for something else." And it's like that was his best fucking movie. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, best movie.
Although that wasn't the last movie that he did before he got.
No, he did a couple more. I think he did Eraser, and then
no, he did Terminator.
The Sixth Day, and then
he did a
handful, yeah. No, I think Terminator 3 was after.
No, it was before.
You sure?
I'm fairly certain.
I don't think so. I think Terminator 3 was like 2000 and something.
Hold on.
I'll consult the wizard. Oh, that's not a fucking good. Terminator 3. Rise of the Machines was 2003, so that was after the governor. Governor, right? When was he governor? That would probably also.
That is what I'm checking.
All right, yeah, you check governor. Or did he do Terminator 3 and he's like, "Yep, that sucked. Let me go be the fucking."
Arnold Schwarzenegger became involved in politics in the 1990s with significant political activity, and he didn't run for governor in a recall election until after Terminator 3.
Okay, all right. So he did a Terminator movie, and then,
yeah,
all right, fair enough. Yeah, no, but that whole movie was like a love letter to people who loved action movies. And one of the things is like there's plenty of parody movies that fucking suck.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, but I think the reason that worked is because that was written by McTiernan, who did fucking Lethal Weapon and Die Hard. So he
Yeah.
was writing he made the movie that made fun of his own movies. He wasn't coming out of the fucking genre to pick on somebody else. Like, he knew what he was doing. So it was like, this is primarily an action movie, but we're going to twist it to make fun of other shit.
Yeah.
Where's my theory?
And I think the one thing that I would have made it even better is if, since it was McTiernan, who also loved Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
If Mel Gibson had been the bad guy.
That would have been fun, but like Charles Dance is such a fucking presence.
What would have been even better is if Mel Gibson was bad guy number 3. Or goon number 3. That would have been even funnier.
There's another thing going on to tie it back to earlier. So it's only tradition, not canon, that the Pope has to be picked from the Cardinal of Congress or the Congress of Cardinals.
Oh yeah,
it can be any adult Catholic male. So like, it could be Mel Gibson for Pope. Like,
dude, I'm just saying, as someone who is pagan, I think that'd be pretty fucking funny.
Dude, like, I'm thinking about converting to Catholicism, and like that would be like I'm gonna go to church this week.
No. You know what your luck would be? You would convert to Catholicism. You're there for 3 months, and for some way, shape, or form, you are voted in as the Pope.
Oh god, that'd be terrible. I would not want that job.
I'm just saying, if that happens, let me into the Vatican armory, please.
Dude, no. Like, I could not be Pope, because like every day I'd be like, all right, God, please don't kill me today. Like, that'd be my, like, pray the rosary. God, don't kill me. Let's go do this thing. And then like after like a year or 40 of God not killing me every day, I'd be like, all right, Jesus, just bring me home, man. Strike me with lightning. Fucking have the Vatican collapse. Assassination would be cool, man. Get me out of this. Wait, I can just quit. Oh, cool.
Why did anybody tell me this 40 years ago?
Well, I mean, I think only a couple of popes quit. Like,
one of a monk who basically wrote to them, basically bitching that they're taking too fucking long, and that they don't need to pick from anybody from the cardinals. They were like, all right, guess what? You're Pope. He made a fucking rule and then quit.
There's a really funny thing going on Twitter about that, though, because there's a guy, Cardinal, I think his name's Sarah. He's an African dude, and he's probably not going to get picked, but all the liberals want him to get picked because he's a black dude from Africa, and there has never been an African Pope. And that's why the left wants him, but at the same time, like, everybody on the right wants him because he's the most based motherfucker that's ever lived, where he's like, Islam's a plight, we need to get all these Arabs out of fucking Europe. Homosexuality, like, you all need to be burnt at the stake, like all this like alt-right shit. And like the left's like, well, he's black, so he's got to be it. And it's like, dude, I kind of want him for Pope just because of the walls.
But like back on
like first day in office, all right, cool, we're bringing back the Inquisition. Do you have the authority to do that? We're bringing back the Inquisition. Okay, all right, cool. Are you happy, Democrats?
But like, I'm just saying, if you were in some way, shape, or form voted into being the Pope, let me into that Vatican armory. I'm just taking one assault rifle, one belt fed, and at least 3 of the fucking swords that they have in there.
Dude, no, you know, with our luck, if that happened, we get all the Vatican secrets. Like, we find the time traveler that did go back to meet Jesus, and Jesus said, "Go home." But like, fucking,
it turns out it's one of us.
No. Like, so, like, the time traveler's wearing like goggles that records everything, right? Goes back, Jesus like doing the sermon or whatever, looks at him. Jesus pulls out his iPhone, shows him a picture of dick butt. Go home.
No. Even better. A picture of dick butt, but with the meme JD Vance face on it.
I don't know.
Don't worry.
I imagine that like a lot of the Vatican secrets are a lot like top secret information, where it's like, dude, unless you're like really into the weeds, this is boring as fuck. Like, I would imagine that it's like, all right, cool, I got like Yankee white clearance for the Vatican, right? I go back and find like the most forbidden book, and all it says
fucking,
is
the Ark of the Covenant, the fucking Holy Grail, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no. But you go there and you open the Black Book of Vatican secrets, and like page 1 just says Satan is a fag, and you're like, I mean, I knew that. Why is this a secret?
But no, well, imagine it'd be funny, but like they're going through showing you everything like that, and then they're like, okay, yeah, and then here's this door. You're the only one allowed to go in there. We don't know why, but there's like 3 doors that you're the only one allowed to go through those 3 doors. You go in there, and it's just Jesus just sitting on his computer playing Counter-Strike.
or worse, it's the complete like studio recording library from like Nickelback. Like, oh no, I made a huge mistake.
No. You go in there, and it's Jesus with a full-on weeb fucking collection of figures in jars in a white substance. And he is playing like League of Legends while listening to all of the Nickelback's greatest hits on constant repeat.
Or worse, he's down there still doing miracles, but like they're all like messed up. Like the one jar dude shows up, and Jesus is like, go home.
No, it's just get out of my sight, please.
Dude, can you imagine like if Jesus was more like I don't know how much of the Quran you've read, but like if Jesus was more like fucking Muhammad, where instead of being like, hey, turn the other cheek, he just bitch slapped people everywhere he went.
I mean, Jesus did say, sell all of your shit and buy a sword.
No, he didn't. He said, sell your cloak and buy a sword. It was very different. I mean, he said, sell all your shit in a different fucking part, I think. But
yeah, Jesus was all about having that thing on you.
Yeah. So get rid of all your possessions and follow me. Like, yeah, except for that sword. You're gonna need that. Stay strapped or get clapped.
And he's like, no. The person's going to sell the sword. No, keep that. We gonna need that.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. And I'm sure there's there's poetic justice in this, but like when he's in the Garden of Gethsemane or whatever, the soldiers come up and Peter, who was a fucking baller. There's a reason he was the first fucking pope, and Jesus is like, hey Simon, yeah, no, you're Peter now. That's for the Rock. So when they make the movie, he's got to be played by Dwayne Johnson. But he pulls out a sword and just starts fucking hacking, and he cuts off that dude's ear. And Jesus is like, dude, no, here's your ear back. You are a jerk, and you're going to betray me 3 times. Go home.
Oh, dude, it's just. But just imagine you go down there and it's just him, just playing League under like the most obvious fucking name ever.
Yeah, John Davis enjoyed book 4 and got my patch yesterday. Hey, dude, hell yeah, man. Hey, send me a message on Instagram or Facebook when you get that sewn onto something. Let me know what it looks like. Have you seen the new patches?
Yeah, no.
They look pretty sick.
I need to fucking buy one if you still have any extras.
Yeah, or I'll send you one. Fucking whatever. We'll figure it out.
Speaking of shit, though, the fact that I finally got that electrician's attention for you.
Oh yeah, that was cool. He bought that. He bought that painting. That was neat. They've been pretty preoccupied with some other stuff, so like I'm not mad that they haven't like posted it. But
yeah. But I'm just waiting for that to pop up into the backdrop of one of his videos.
Yeah, I it was kind of weird though because he got a few things and it made the package uneven, so I sent him some other shit just because it's like if I send big painting and small painting, the post office is gonna fuck that up. So I put I put that Dauntless painting in there that I've had for like 3 years that I could never fucking sell. Which that one bothered the hell out of me because like people would fucking text me about that like once a month. Hey man, where's the link for this? Here.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then there was me. Like the first chance I actually had the spending money, I was like, hey, there's paintings. I'm buying them. The wife also wants some. It's her birthday. Yeah. And I went through and I bought paintings.
Which, like, I don't need you to buy my shit. Fucking, I don't care. Like, screenshot it, make it the fucking background on your phone. Like, whatever. But, like, I don't know. Like the art thing's really weird because it's like there's so many fucking dead ends where it's like I get left on red as soon as somebody figures out what it costs. And it's like, bro, I'm selling this shit pretty fucking cheap if you look at it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like the dude who has the pickleball.
Oh, thing, dude, I love that dude. He's got such fucking good shit.
Yeah, weaponized autism of the unsub crowd is laying waste to
Oh yeah, they're on the warpath. I don't need their attention right now. Like fucking let them go full Sherman on that, you know?
Yeah, let's let that shit happen, and then Dom the Builder.
What's up? That was the texting Dom before the show.
Fuck yeah! Oh, that yeah. Fucking if you got Dom on Instagram, if you want to go ahead and add him to our chat with you, me, Travis, and
yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dom. If you get added to that, be prepared to be blasted by like 800 reels a day.
Yeah. This fucking guy. I'm at work. Yeah, you're at work sitting on your ass, not doing anything besides fucking scrolling Instagram.
Listen, it's not my fault that we are currently in a slow period because the project that we're fucking sending material to is holding off on getting material because they are almost done with the main part, but they're getting ready to open up another thing where they're building like 3 railroad tracks going through.
Dude, I live in the part of the country where we have 2 seasons. We have ice and construction, and we're currently in construction.
I like how you said ice.
Yeah. Anyway, dude, I had a fucking hell of a time last week because I was going to get the lawnmower out to go mow for the first time in the year, right? And I go out there, and lawnmower, the back tire is fucking flat, and you know it's a tractor, so excuse me, you don't put a tire on it. You got to go buy the whole fucking rim.
Yeah.
Now I did this last year because it's an old mower and you know it requires maintenance. So I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go spend $200 on this fucking tire. So I drive to Home Depot, which is normally half an hour away. It took me an hour to get there because of construction. I get back and it's the wrong tire. It's the right size. The rim's the right size, but like instead of having like I don't know, a circular axle mount, it's got a fucking square one because it's one of the, you know, moving tires. I'm like, all right, well, I know they're doing construction this way into town. Let's go the medium way into town. Construction. So that took fucking forever. I get the right tire that time. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Fucking, that was the third trip. The second trip was I get the tire, I come home, and I can't get it off because it's the fucking bolt is a little ways in there, and I have the socket for it, and I have the wrench for it, but I don't have the inch and a half fucking extender that I need. So I spent an hour and a half, mostly stuck in traffic, on the way to Walmart, which is the closest place to get any kind of hardware, to get 2 inches of fucking steel to take this wheel off. I get the wheel off, wrong wheel, so I have to go take it back and get another one. So third time, also fucking construction. It's like, dude, please don't. And you know, to be fair, it was like a Tuesday at like noon. So it's like
where they weren't expecting a lot of people to be traveling.
Yeah, no, it was just me. But you know, still, you got to sit there and watch the dude with the stop sign for like 20 minutes.
That's getting paid like $50 an hour.
Yeah, I need that job.
Right.
But you know,
yeah, just get a job with the fucking Department of Transportation. You'll be fucking set.
Yeah. I got a buddy that worked at PennDOT up here. He had a love-hate relationship with it where he's like, yeah, no, it's good, it pays great, but like my job is sitting around on my phone for like 6 hours a day and then like back-breaking labor for 2 hours. I'm like, dude, and he's a younger guy. I met him at college. It's like, dude, you're 25, man. That sounds like the dream job, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, before we got all, you know, broke dick from our time in the service.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I got a weird thing with like what I call work though, because like I don't consider it work unless I'm sweating. Otherwise, it's just some annoying bullshit I have to deal with for money. And in my brain, annoying bullshit I have to deal with for money and work aren't the same thing. Which is 90% of my job now. It's 99.999% of my job now because, you know, it's, you know, writing and editing and shit where it's annoying bullshit I have to deal with.
I mean, there's a way to work around that. Just have your heater blasting 24/7.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, fucking buddy of mine. All right, pardon, just finished a bourbon glazed ham. Ooh.
Oh, that does sound good.
Ooh.
Dude, I used to make a really good fucking rum ham. So like I watched that show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They had a rum ham, and I looked up what they did for that, or what the, you know, in-universe thing was for it, where it's like, all right, so you take like a cup of Bacardi, and then you just make a honey glazed ham. I'm like, that's bullshit. No, you take a ham, you put it in a crock pot, you pour in a fifth of Sailor Jerry or Captain Morgan, and then you put in a 2 liter of Coke or Dr. Pepper, and then you slow cook that for, I don't know, 12 hours. And then you eat 3 bites and pass out drunk. Like,
yeah.
No. Yeah. Yeah, and the trick to that is you make a really big rum and Coke and put a ham in it and cook it for 12 hours. Not Bacardi. But then again, I don't like clear rum.
Yeah, no. I have to stay away from rum because reasons.
Okay.
Long story short, rum was what almost caused me to put a bullet in my head.
Oh, yeah, no, I have the opposite thing. Fucking rum, if I drink more than a couple glasses of it, I am going to fight or fuck something. And if I can't find something to fight or fuck, I am going to fight and fuck myself.
Just vigorously beating your meat like it owes you fucking,
while I'm punching myself in the face. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, no, fucking what all did you mix in for that glaze with the bourbon? Dumb.
Oh, dumb. Yeah, dude, no, that does sound good. I'd imagine you want to simmer it down and kind of get like a paste out of it, and then
yeah.
But
fucking dude, one of my favorite things to do is to make a brown sugar honey glazed ham, and then use that for making ham and beans.
Oh, that does sound good. One of the things I found that's been good for that is if you take 15 bean soup and then pressure cook it with like a fucking side of bacon, like you get a perfect amount of fucking fat and salt in it with it.
So what I typically do for mine is I will get like a pound of either the Great Northern beans or the Navy beans. I'll do the thing where you let them soak overnight to open up and everything like that, and then I will then slow cook them. I'll slow cook it for minimum 14 hours.
Okay.
With the ham bone, with a good amount of ham and fat still on it.
Yeah, no, that's got me wondering though, because in CHainsmoke Your Problems Away, they didn't make they never made a rum ham, but they do make a lot of food in that book.
Yeah.
Like, and that book wasn't intentionally hey, here's a recipe book with a long ass story attached to it, but it could be.
Also in like books 7 and onward, they do that as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also in book 4, I kind of figured out things I wanted to do in all books going forward at some point. And like in book 4, the big one was, I know how to make music. Why don't these characters fucking make music? It was funny. There was somebody in the comment section last night when I was talking to Travis, and he was like, hey, no spoilers, I'm only halfway through book 2. I'm like, oh yeah, spoiler alert, book 4 is a musical. And he's like, oh. I'm like, I was a kid.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm sorry, like I can understand, not being past where we're at with the audiobook.
No, I think you just found it, which that's cool.
Yeah, which is fair. But like if you listen to the audiobook, granted, it's heavily edited on YouTube where you can listen to it for free, or if you get it on Audible, it's not edited. But like it's maybe for what's out right now, you could listen to it in a day.
No, because
at least one book.
First book's 9 hours long. I forget how long book 2 is, but it's 7 or 8. Fucking book 3 is fucking short. It's only like 5 hours long.
Oh yeah, dude. No, like whenever I was physically reading the books, I finished book 2, picked up book 3 at so I put down book 2 at like 7:30 at night. Picked up book 3 and was done with it by 11.
Yeah, it's short, but I think the audiobook for book 4 is 13-ish hours long.
Yeah.
So, no, you can't listen to what's out in a day.
Well, you can listen to it within a week.
Yeah, depending on what you're doing. I mean, if you're driving. Yeah.
If you're driving, but then again, also you're only going to be half listening to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I got some good audiobooks driving. Fucking I need to re-listen to it. But you know Phantom of the Opera, right? You know this book first?
Yeah.
Okay. Christopher Lee has an audiobook for that. Yeah.
I need to find that.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know Christopher Lee did audiobooks, and then I was like, oh.
Listen, I'm just saying that if Christopher Lee was still here today, I would gladly sell my soul to whomever would buy it for him to be a voice actor in your book series.
I don't know who you would play. Unironically, old guy, but a Claire.
That or the guy that's coming up here in book 7 and 8 and 9.
Let's not stick to that for spoiler reasons.
Yeah, but like just between you and me, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, Christopher Lee also made a metal album and narrated a porno. Dude, Christopher Lee did a lot of fucking shit.
No. Christopher Lee didn't just do a metal album; it was a Christmas metal album.
No, he had 3 or 4 just regular metal albums, and they're all concept albums about Charlemagne killing Saxons.
Yeah, but one of them was also.
But he also did a Christmas album, yeah.
Yeah, a Christmas metal album.
When he was in his 90s. It's funny though, after the Beatles broke up, and I'm not a big Beatles fan, but I do like
neither am I.
I do like some of Paul McCartney's solo shit. But
we all agree Yoko Ono should have Kurt Cobained herself beforehand.
I think the Beatles sucked without Yoko Ono's influence.
But still, like at least without her there, they would have been.
Anyway, on the album, on Paul McCartney's album, Band on the Run, for the longest time, like the album cover is a bunch of like dudes looking confused, and they're in front of a brick wall. There's a spotlight on them, like they're running from the cops, and they got caught, like in like an old black and white movie.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I thought that was just a random bunch of dudes, and I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's Paul McCartney, and that's. I don't know who that. What the fuck is Christopher Lee doing there? So I go on fucking Google, and it turns out that the reason that album cover is the way it was is because they were all at a party, and those are all celebrities. And Paul McCartney was hanging out with Christopher Lee, and they're like, "Hey, I need an album cover. What do you want to do?" I don't know this, and they were all high and fucking drunk as fucking fuck when they took that. None of them remember actually taking that photo.
Dude, I would not be surprised that they were probably high off their ass on acid and probably drunk on absinthe.
Yeah, Horse Soldier Bourbon is what he was using for the ham.
Well, I was saying, aside from the bourbon, what else were you using for the glaze?
But yeah, no, other thing, fucking, and we were talking adjacent to this last night with fucking Travis, but, 2 things, like point 1, Ian Fleming, the only book he wrote that wasn't James Bond was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but he also based James Bond off of his cousin, Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Who was in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny because like there's a couple interviews floating out there where I think it was while they were making Lord of the Rings, and like, you know, the infamous, like, that's not what a stab sounds like, right? There was something later where they were talking to him about that, and they're like, so what did you do in World War II? He's like, I did this, and this, and whatever. Well, what did you do there? I can't talk about it because it's classified. It's like, bro, what the fuck happened in 1944 that you can't talk about in 2002? That's still classified.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. No, like the fact that Christopher Lee did more extracurricular gangster shit during World War II.
Well, he started off as a pilot, and then I forget what happened. It had something to do with his eyesight or his hearing, and he wasn't qualified to be a pilot anymore. So he's like, oh, I can't fly. Might as well do it close up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and the fact that he was a part of a unit that basically only reported to Churchill.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, sweet. I'll forward it, man. Yeah, no, fucking crazy shit. He was also like, he was engaged to... I think
like
the Princess of Denmark or Sweden. I think it was Sweden.
And he broke off their engagement because he was an actor and he didn't want to do that to her.
Yeah. There was another interview that was kind of funny because, like, for the longest time, he only played, like, horror characters, right? Like, mostly, you know, Dracula. And remind me to go back to Christopher Lee on Dracula because there's a fucking great one that nobody's seen, apparently. One of the old Hammer films. But he got, like, retroactively dubbed, like, the king of horror, right? And there was an interview in the 90s or 2000s where, like, what do you think about being called the king of horror? And he's like, I haven't done a horror movie in 30 years. Why are you guys calling me that? I thought it was fun. But there was another one of the movies back when he was playing Dracula. I think it's called Dracula 1972 AD or Dracula 72 AD, something like that. But it starts off, and it's, you know, in the 1970s. And there's a bunch of punk kids that want to be edgy and cool, so they decide they're going to go to this like you know, deconsecrated church and do the satanic ritual and get the devil to like appear to them because they think that'd be fun. And they go to do the ritual and they fuck it up and they do it wrong. And instead of conjuring Satan, they resurrect Dracula on accident. And then Chris Lee just going around killing these teenagers in the 70s, and it's like a slasher movie almost. But it's like, oh my god, yes, yes. I've heard many claims, inspirations for James Bond. Dusko Popov is one, a Serbian playboy double agent codenamed Agent Tricycle, for a penchant for taking two women to bed at once, of course. Christopher Lee, Gus March Phillips, who was the dude from Operation Postmaster. Maybe.
Also, I think the character Eggsy from The Kingsman was also loosely based off of Christopher Lee.
I think so, yeah. Other thing though about James Bond though, I recently read the book for Casino Royale. Not super different from the movie. I mean, enough, like a lot's different, but like plot wise, it's almost there. Yeah. But it also took place in like 1951. And now, like, all I can think of is like, yeah, I need a hard James Bond reboot where the entire series takes place between 1947 and 1960.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think that'd be cool.
Where it's canonically fucking set.
Yeah. And like, you know how like in the movie, like he had to get his two I killed these guys in cold blood things, and it was like a guy that betrayed MI6 and then his handler or one of his goons or something. In the book, it was a Japanese spy in New York and then some dude in Norway. And it's funny because like reading the book, he did a really good job at conveying PTSD without saying anything about it. Where he's like, hey, so how did the guy in Norway die? And then he's like thinking about like, you know, being in a wrestling match with him and pulling out a knife. And then like there's a paragraph of like nothing where it's just James Bond kind of like saying, yeah, he didn't die well and I don't want to talk about it. It's like, oh, cool. So you're doing Inglourious Bastard shit and that's why you get to be a 00 agent now. Neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I suggest reading the books. They're a lot different.
Yeah, no. And I do love how it was soft confirmed that The Rock with fucking Sean Connery, it was like, no, that's
his one.
That's the same character.
Well, all the math adds up too.
Yeah, 100%. Like he was like, yeah, I've been here. I've escaped from here twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we definitely need a just a straight up hard reboot of the James Bond. And I agree.
Speaking of Sean Connery, I watched a movie a couple weeks ago called The Avengers. Not the Marvel movie. It had Ray Fiennes was a secret agent. His sidekick was Uma Thurman. I didn't really understand if it was a body double or a clone, but a bad guy version of her was also Uma Thurman, and she walked around in a tight leather fucking costume the whole time. Huh. And Sean Connery was the bad guy. And it fucking sucked balls. It was one of the worst movies I've ever fucking seen. Oh! And I'm like, you got Ray Fiennes, Uma Thurman, and Sean Connery. How did you fuck this up?
I mean, okay, despite what everyone says, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I enjoyed the movie.
That was good.
Yet it was also the last movie that Sean Connery was ever in.
Yeah. That and what comes to my mind with that one is
the fact that he passed up playing Gandalf.
No. It's a movie with who's in it? There's a million people in it. Like Ben Stiller's in it, Janine Garofalo, Hank Azaria, and they're all like knockoff superheroes, but they're all
yeah, I know the movie you're talking about.
But I think of The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen maybe because I saw them at the same time.
Hold on.
What was the movie called?
I know it.
Where Ben Stiller's character is super.
Minutemen.
No, it wasn't Minutemen.
You sure? Yeah, because Ben Stiller's character had like the rage
power. It wasn't. Yeah, that was the movie I'm talking about. That wasn't called the Minutemen though. Also, dumb. Thanks. I'll check that out here in a bit for the ham. It had a really dumb name. Like Greg Kinnear was like the Superman character, but like Superman was a dickhead. The
Yeah.
bad guy's name was Casanova Frankenstein.
Oh, Mystery Men.
Mystery Men, that was it. Yeah. William H. Macy was the shoveler, and he just beat people with a shovel.
Yeah, and then it had fucking I like orange soda, dude. I can't remember his fucking name right now. Where he could only be invisible when people weren't looking at him.
Yeah, but it turned out that was true and not bullshit.
It was legit.
Yeah. Mr. Furious, dumb, you got him. Yeah.
And then the dude who his superpower was super farts.
Yeah. Oh, that was Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. And then the chick with the mystical bowling ball, whose
that
father
was her dad's skull. Yeah.
Who was killed by Casanova.
Yeah. That was Janine Garofalo, and I can't see her and not think of the Bloodhound Gang just because they mentioned her once in a fucking song, and it's like, all right, cool, got it, neat.
Yeah. And then it had that God, I can't remember his name. He that really he's been in a ton of stuff. He was the Native American guy who basically helped them learn their fucking powers or how to control their shit.
Yeah, he was the main guy in Dances with Wolves. Not the main guy. Not Kevin Costner, but the Lakota dude.
Yeah.
He was also, he had a short part as one of the detectives in Heat, if you remember that. Which Heat was a great fucking movie. It's long as shit. Fucking, I watched it again maybe about last year for the first time since fucking forever. I didn't realize it was 3 hours long. But when I was a kid and I watched that, it confused the fuck out of me because I thought Robert De Niro and Al Pacino were the same guy before I watched that movie. And I'm watching it and I'm like, why is he doing all they're not the same guy. Huh.
Yeah. No, and then one thing that I learned a few months ago, I haven't seen it yet, but the guy that played Sam Winchester in Supernatural is apparently now Walker, Texas Ranger.
Really now?
Yeah.
Nice. Also, Dumb Sam watched Heat a few weeks ago. They were doing a Val Kilmer. Yeah, Val Kilmer was fucking great. There was a lot of people in that movie too. Fucking that was like one of those Black Hawk Down movies where every time you watch it, you're like, oh, this guy's in it, that guy's in it. Like one of the other detectives that wasn't fucking the Indian dude was oh my god, his name's Ted something. But the guy that played
Ted Danson?
No. The guy that played Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ted Levine, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, every time I watch that movie, it's like, oh, hey, this is
Well, I do love movie. I do love how when Val passed that he got the recognition he fucking deserved.
Yeah, he was a great fucking actor.
Oh, dude, fan-fucking-tastic. Like, still, to this fucking day, I fucking loved him as Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but he did a fantastic job as Doc Holliday.
Yeah, and the only annoying thing about that has been, like, people now memeing it into fucking death, where it's like, dude, I get it. But, like, fucking, in the moment, like, great 10 out of 10 fucking movie. One thing I think that was neat about Doc Holliday was, in real life, he only killed, like, 2 or 3 people. But everyone kept saying that he killed, like, 50 men like he was fucking Cotton Hill. And everyone was afraid of him, and he just didn't correct people.
Oh yeah, well, but then again, like during the competitions and shit that they did to show, oh hey, yeah, you're a gunslinger. No one beat him.
Mm-hmm.
But like the biggest thing that he got was during the OK Corral incident where he had a sawn-off shotgun, and that's where he got the 2 kills.
One of the things that I think's funny about that is, first off, if you ever get a chance to go to Tombstone, it's a giant tourist trap. But also 10 out of 10 to go because no one knows it's a tourist trap. So there's only like 500 people there at any given time. And it's fucking amazing. Go. That's my advice on that. However, one of the things that I didn't know until the tour guide there was talking to us about the OK Corral, because it's still there. You can look at it.
Yeah.
The OK Corral gunfight is like a fucking staple of American culture. It's been in.
And it happened within like 30 seconds.
Well, not only that, but like every time it's in movies, everybody's sweating their ass off because they're in Arizona, right? In real life, there was snow on the ground.
Yeah.
It was winter. It was fucking cold. So I think it's hilarious. Like every time I watch a movie, like especially Tombstone, you go and they're like doing the full like armpit sweat. We're dying out here. We really need to hydrate. And in real life, it's like, dude, Santa Claus is coming to town, man. You better get these bad guys out of here. Or else you guys ain't getting Christmas presents.
It's like, guys, you do realize that it's the middle of fucking winter.
Yeah, yeah. You know it snows in the desert, right?
Yeah, like perfect example. Why one of the reasons why I love Hateful Eight is because it's showing Texas.
Yeah,
back then with snow.
I hated the Hateful Eight because it was 2.5 hours too long.
Yeah, and then when they did the director's cut of it and it extended it by like another 4.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Like, sorry, Tarantino, you ain't that good.
Yeah.
Also, the Alamo is a fucking weird thing too. Dumb saying he was there when I was at medic school because like you see pictures of it and you're like, oh, this is out in the middle of the desert. It's like, nah, dude, like it's in a mall.
Yeah. And I haven't been up there yet, but if I remember correctly, my 8th great grandfather is there because he was also General Sam Houston's father-in-law for his first marriage.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, like and the funny thing is that Sam Houston was forced to divorce.
Yeah.
My, his wife because she was Native. And with him getting into politics, it was a no-no.
Yeah,
but he didn't remarry until she passed away.
Oh, well, I mean that's honorable then.
Yeah.
One of my other things, speaking of Sam Houston and like fucking Davy Crockett and all them, is like you're in Texas, so like this. Anyone who's ever met anyone from Texas, not even been to Texas, just met anyone from Texas, knows that Texas is a huge deal and their history's fucking religion. But canonically, all the best Virginians are from either Tennessee or fucking Virginia.
You mean Texans?
Yeah. It's like, fucking Sam Houston, best Texan ever. He's from Virginia. Oh, fucking Davy Crockett, he's from Tennessee. Shut up.
But it's hilarious because, like, if I ever decide to run for public office in Texas, I would probably do it out of that area because technically I'm a descendant of one of the founders of Texas.
Yeah, fucking one of the other things I was memeing pretty hard back in 2016 when Trump was running for the first time, like
Ted Cruz fucking
no, not that. I mean that, but not that. But like, fucking, the whole Make America Great Again thing, like I kept constantly fucking tweeting and putting on Facebook, make Texas Mexico again. And people got fucking mad.
No. Here's the thing. Make Texas the pre-signing of the peace treaty with Mexico, Texas again.
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny though, because like most of the fucking eastern US was Mexico before that. Like Texas on the eastern side, but like all of California, all the way up into fucking Washington. I think a little bit of Canada used to be fucking Mexico.
Yeah, the western side, yeah. But the funny thing is that pre-signing of the treaties and everything like that, the peace accords, Texas was like almost like a third of the size bigger.
Yeah, because you had like Oklahoma and what?
Well, no,
is that
like
Kansas.
Like across
you mean
the Rio
South.
Grande.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I mean, depends on what you mean by that.
Oh, what? He heard that Texas legislature in this fucking stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't live in Texas, so
I haven't been paying. I don't pay attention to mainstream news because.
Yeah, I like Texas. I've always had a good time every time I'm there, but like it's too fucking hot. I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't mind heat, like because like I'm originally from Florida. I spent most of my Marine Corps career in California, and a lot of that in 29 Palms. Like, fine, but like if it's gonna be hot, I need something to do. It can't be it can't be like balls hot. It can't be balls hot and cows.
Yeah. Or, at least give 2 months straight of a break.
Yeah.
Not, 2 weeks spread out over 4 months.
Yeah. And like where I'm at now, it's like the exact opposite because like we get like routinely -20 in the fucking winter. But like I'm like Native American and Euro mutt.
Yeah.
Like I'm built for cold weather. I just
Same.
happen to be from a hot place.
Yeah. And then there's me where, second generation born, my grandfather on my dad's side immigrated to the U.S. during World War II from Lithuania.
Yeah. And you got some weird Greek last name?
No, it's Lithuanian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, my mom's side of the family is Sicilian, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to dig into you for being Greek, but I guess we'll skip that.
Yeah. I mean, Greek food's okay.
Now, Greek food is good. I got a really good Greek place up here. But after you go east of Italy, like Mediterranean food's Mediterranean food. You just call kebab something different depending on where you're from. Because like Greece will have that, but then so will like Lebanon and Syria and Egypt and hook all the way around to fucking Morocco.
Yeah. But then yeah, there he goes. Yeah. Now there was a time where part of me was like, oh no, that's offensive. Now I just think it's funny.
Well, have you heard about what was it? What's that car they build in Italy that's not like the fucking am I thinking Fiats?
Yeah.
Okay, did you see what they did with the wheels for that? Their new tires? So
no.
like when you turn it left, they go left, and when you turn it right, they go right.
Dude, okay, listen, as much as I shit on Fiats, when I was up in Seattle going to commercial diving school, they had basically, so you've heard of the Lime bikes where you have the app, you can scan the QR code and you pay for it with your card, and well, they also have Fiats for that through the same company. And I'm going to paint you a picture. Just close your eyes and just imagine this.
Uh-huh.
My fat ass and another skinny white guy in a Fiat smoking cigars while blaring heavy metal.
Okay.
While driving through the most liberal city in America.
That's up there. Also, Dom, why do Italians make great swimmers? We'll wait for the answer on that one. But do you know why Italians don't like helicopters? Because when they go through the air, they go wop 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 wop. Also, grease floats. Yeah. Yeah. No, fucking my favorite one of those though is talking about the fall of the Roman Empire because arguably
keep talking. My son wants to talk to me about something.
Okay.
Come here, bud. What's up?
Well, put your microphone on mute. But it's kind of funny because
Go ahead and play. That's fine. I gotta set you up your account so you can play on there again, okay?
Yeah.
All right, go. All right, go. Yes, bud, you can play.
Anyway, fucking arguably speaking, the Romans, built like the greatest culture that's ever existed on Earth, and then they killed Christ, and to punish them, God turned them into Italians.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious because I think we talked about this before about someone did a thing about what would have happened if the Roman Empire didn't entirely fucking implode.
Yeah.
And about how basically they expand across the Atlantic, they expand across the Americas and everything like that. And apparently, I think one of the things we were talking about, I can't remember. We were talking about this, but it's been a while. God damn it.
Why are Italians always wearing gold necklaces?
Why?
So they know where to stop. Jesus Christ. So they know where to stop shaving. Got it. That's I haven't heard that one before. That's good.
Yep.
I mean, what's weird though is So like we differentiate now between like the Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire, but like when they split up, they all consider themselves Rome. Like it would be kind of like if the east of the Mississippi and the west of the Mississippi broke up and we got two United States of America, and then the East Coast, devolves into fucking random fucking warring states. And then the rest of it fucking keeps doing its thing.
I'll help you in a bit, bud. Just let me finish up what I'm doing here, okay? Or have mommy help you.
I just know how to play this.
Neither do I. I haven't played it yet. Just have mommy help you.
Okay. This is the office.
I know, bud. I'm in the middle of something, though, okay? Okay. My 9-year-old, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but anyway, like what we consider, the fucking Eastern Roman Empire, that didn't fall until like the 1400s, like, and it was like the it was like 1450 something. So like there were people that were alive that were Romans that knew about the New World.
Yeah,
like it wasn't that long ago. Like people talk about like the fall of Rome, like the western part of it, where Italy was, but. Yeah, the eastern part was just as much Rome.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, no, and it's insane. But like, could you imagine if the Roman Empire didn't fall apart after Caesar?
Well, the Roman Empire didn't fall apart after Caesar. Caesar got assassinated, and then they built the Roman Empire after that. There's a whole fucking drama with that shit.
Yeah,
and then that lasts for, depending on who you talk to, somewhere between 6 and 1,500 years.
Yeah, but could you imagine if they hadn't assassinated Caesar, how that shit would have went down?
If they hadn't assassinated Caesar, it would be a fucking interesting fucking thing, because he probably would have ended up as not emperor or whatever, but he probably would have done an Augustan thing eventually, where he was just the first citizen among equals. Because like Augustus wasn't the emperor. He was the first citizen amongst equals. Which, not spoiling anything, but there's a reason another character later is the first citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, buy the books.
Yeah.
But going back in with the voice acting and everything, like book 4, when I first read through it, was a workout.
Well, I mean, it's a complete change of pace, right? Because like we're done with the old characters and we're moving into the first batch of new characters, because the series is 12 books long. It does this a couple times. And at first it's a little jarring because it's like, who the fuck are these people? But then like once you get a chapter or two into it, it's like, all right, cool, it's the same sense of humor. These are spiritually the same kind of fucking characters. They're just in a new setting doing new stuff with new materials.
Yeah. And with going into that though, like the fact that I like, one of the main reasons why I like book 4, like book 4 is honestly like of my top 3 favorites out of all 12, but mainly because I could relate to a lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, because a lot of it's about Navy life. I mean, like the first book was very much about what it's like being a Marine. But it was about what it's like being a Marine. And the fourth one was, this is Marine Corps life. And those things aren't necessarily synonymous.
Yeah. But then again, also, books 1 through 3, it's following Hank and Doc. And let's be honest, they were the shitbags.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, and Thatch is a fucking war hero. Like, before we even fucking meet him,
he's a war hero.
Yeah. Before we even meet him, like, you get this in dialogue a little bit, but like, there was an instance.
Yeah, him and Okan, where they got stuck on a Russian ship.
Their entire company gets killed, and they have to like fucking die hard out of a fucking Russian battleship, and like, and that wasn't and that wasn't important enough for the story. That was just something that happened while they were fucking boots.
Yeah.
And like,
which
fucking
is why during the training, when Okan and Thatch are out for, everybody fucking hates life that day.
Yeah, because they're out there just fucking waxing fucking people left and fucking right, and like, it pays off later.
The fucking rafters and shit.
Yeah, and it pays off later because they're the guys you want to be with during a fucking zombie apocalypse on a space station that you can't fucking get off of. So it's kind of like, all right, we're gonna do Day of the Dead, but instead of a mall that you could just run away from. It's like, no, you don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah. Also, speaking of which, when everyone's talking about, the zombies that they wouldn't want to fucking face in real life, you have Left 4 Dead, you got fucking The Last of Us and shit like that. I'm sorry, you created hands down the most fucking terrifying zombie. Headshots don't fucking work. Anything you blow off with any fucking rounds that isn't like fucking incendiary ammunition, it just grows fucking back.
Yeah, well, I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, also though, they are pretty easy to defeat once you get them to that point where they're mostly mushroom, where it's just like, all right, yeah, they're mean and nasty, but they weigh 8 ounces. Just push them away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, it's just like, if you're not paying attention, you're also not going to feel 8 ounces before you get chomped.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I did some cool stuff with the sound effects for that. Because that like gurgling noise that the fucking zombies made in the audiobook.
Yeah.
I took a pig grunt and I slowed it down, and then I cut out every 1/5 of a fucking second, so it kind of like. But all those zombie gurgling noises are just slowed down pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still terrifying.
Yeah. Thanks.
Like
I think it came out well.
Yeah, no, it did. And if 9-year-old me had heard that, I would have been having nightmares for the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah, I mean, and they do some fucking nasty shit too, because they don't just bite you. Like, what was it? I think it was
stab you with their fucking like with a broken appendage. They'll start stabbing you just to get the mold. They'll like grab and vomit into your fucking face.
Yeah. That was going to bring up. I think it was the lighthouse character where it like held his mouth open and just hurled down his fucking throat. Yeah, it's gnarly.
And then also, for those of you who are going to be, waiting for books 5 and 6, you need to fucking pay attention to the shit because there are spoilers for shit that happens in later books.
Well, there's spoilers all the way through. There's stuff that happens in the last book that gets talked about pretty heavily in the first book. Yeah. And at first you're like, oh, so Hank and Doc are just talking about random bullshit. That doesn't mean anything. That's barracks talk. Yeah, no, that's kind of the plot in the last book. Fucking, I mean, but oh fuck, I can't talk about that shit. There's a lot of stuff I can't really talk about now because it hasn't happened yet in the audiobooks. But not a spoiler, but I've already, from what's on YouTube, I've already told you the entire plots of the rest of the fucking books.
Yeah.
Kind of covert, like foreshadowing. I foreshadowed the rest of the books, but it's hidden as these guys are just talking about random bullshit.
Or someone going cuckoo.
Yeah.
hint, nudge, nudge.
Speaking of people fucking being cuckoo, I fucking loved Hollis's performance as Samoom.
Oh, okay, listen. I hated Samoom whenever I was reading.
Yeah.
Hollis reignited that fucking rage.
Yeah, and when I was editing these, I was like, you know what? I think Samoom's my favorite character. Just because of how well fucking
listen,
Hollis
Hollis did such a fantastic job of playing a character I already fucking hated and made me hate the character more. I no hate towards Hollis because I can differentiate between
kills it.
Dude, because I can differentiate between the character and the actor. But the fact that she did, in my opinion, the same fucking quality work as the actor that played Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
Well, one of the things that I love is and I put all our bloopers in and shit, but like half of the fucking lines she do is like, I'm going to do this line. Samoom says this. Short pause. It's fucking cunt. All right. Next line.
And then I tell you what, in one of the later books, like 7 through 12, I need to try to get my wife to record a few lines for one of the Hispanic ladies who speak Spanish.
I will. We'll discern that at a future date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is that I need to get her to do it but like she's also like super shy, and I don't know how she would get into it. But the one way I tried to explain it to her, I was like, well, because the way I look at this is I look at whenever I'm getting into the character the same way whenever I'm playing when I play Dungeons and Dragons or any other tabletop role playing game.
Cloaca.
So yeah. God damn it.
We'll explain that in a bit.
yeah, no, there's a story behind that one. But yeah, no, and I like, I'll get into the character. I think about how their voice is going to sound, and I start working it out in my head, and I start working it out well before I even get close to the mic, because I want to make sure that I'm good with it before I get into it. But then there's just certain characters where it's just as like I'll start reading and the voice immediately comes to me, and it's just bam, 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 and I hit it.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm looking forward to talking about a couple of characters later, because in books 5 and 6, I didn't shotgun you as much as like, hey dude, here's a character, be this guy.
yeah, you have me as two characters.
Yeah. And they're both bigger characters.
You have me as one character that spans both, but I also two separate characters.
And no spoilers or anything, but they're both very different characters. By the way, one and a half of these characters we're talking about, Smokepit Fairytales 5, that book's already on Audible, so
yeah,
you can go listen to that now. You don't have to wait for YouTube for that. But yeah, no, you played them way fucking different from each other, and I think they rolled out well. Especially the more flamboyant one.
I honestly think I nailed him.
Yeah. No. It rolled out well.
Yeah, and then there are just some characters like I get the voice, but it fucking hurts to do. Like in book 1, Gunnery Sergeant Cantut fucking wrecked my voice.
Yeah.
Like whenever I was doing the first time I did a recording for him, back whenever I was doing the recordings on my fucking cell phone for you, before I got
back when it was the Wild West of like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing here.
Yeah, and thankfully then it was only just one chapter at a time, and back then it was just like,
back then we were doing it week to week, like, hey man, I got to do this next week, can you sit down and grab that?
And I wasn't given a script. I literally had book 1 going through the chapter with a highlighter, highlighting my fucking lines.
Yeah, dude, I'm so glad I fucking figured that out. I'm so glad I figured out, hey, cut the fucking book up and give people a fucking script. It'll be so much easier for everyone involved.
Yeah. And then, the one thing I do is I'll fucking just, have it pulled up. I'll go through, I'll highlight my character's name so I know the lines. I'll go through, get that done. I'll go through and just do a few practice reads of not in character, just so I, because as you've heard from the fucking
one of the other things, though, is like, if you have a character like that, you can kind of like read it out loud and just like naturally let whatever that character's voice is going to be evolve.
Exactly.
Instead of like being at work or driving around, like, what do I do for this guy?
But then also
you should sound like this.
Yeah, but then there's also certain times where like I'm in character and I see the line that's there, but in my mind I'm like, they wouldn't say it like this. This is how they would say it. So like add in different like how they would say it.
I have a thing about that. But can you rant for about 35 seconds while I go take a piss?
Yes.
Okay.
So first things first, fuck the ATF, because the fact that I bought a honey badger at the end of February, I'm waiting for that shit to fucking come in. Unfortunately, it's on 4-month backlog, and then I got to do 2 tax stamps on that shit. I'm sorry, it's the same gun. It should only have 1 tax stamp for that. Hopefully, whoever the new acting director of the ATF is pushes to get suppressors removed from the NFA. Fingers fucking crossed. But yeah, fuck it. Anyone have any questions while he's gone? Dom? Anybody? Yeah, I am in the next book. I'm playing 2 characters in the next book as well. And only one of them, only one of them transitions over into book 6. And then, but I do play a second, 2 other characters in book 6 as well. No, it's all good, man. But yeah, I don't, it's like I said, I'm only playing 2 characters in book 5 and then 2 characters in book 6. Or I'd say a character and a half per book. What would you agree? It's like 1.5 characters in book 5 and 1.5 characters in book 6.
I would want to say since book 3, you're somewhere between 1.25 characters and 2.
No, I'm saying between books 5 and 6. It's like 1.5. And
yeah. No, but what I was going to say earlier was one of the things that like I have found works great for getting voices from people is not giving them too much direction. Like, hey, here's the script, and then like don't tell them that say this like this, say that like that. Just be like, hey, this character's mad here, this character's happy here, this is this kind of scene, and then let that voice actor interpret that as they will. Because if I direct too hard, I will be like, I need you to say everything the way that I would fucking say it, and I need you to talk like this. But it's so much better for I guess sound diversity to just like, hey, person playing this, play this like it's you in this fucking mood. Have fun.
but like one of the things I was saying is that like sometimes when I'm going through what they're saying in there, sometimes I'll add in a word or two or shorten down stuff with it because
well, I mean, it's not a 1-for-1 fucking copy anyway, because like I am trying my damnedest to not use the word or the phrase he said, she said. And since we got, as many fucking voice actors as we do, just leave it to be like, okay, the first time they talk, okay, yeah, this is Bob saying this, or this is Jeff saying that. And then if they don't talk for 5 minutes, throw that back in there. But if it's like 3 or 4 people, 3 or 4 characters that you fucking know, and they all sound different, then like you could get rid of the Stockton said this, that said that.
Well, no, I'm talking like in certain situations, like where like I'll have like because I've had a few of them where I've had pretty long rants for like a paragraph.
Yeah.
And so the characters, and sometimes whenever I'm reading through it, as you've heard, I do multiple takes of each of those things.
Oh no, I'm aware. I have to edit this. You have to listen to the whole fucking thing before I cut it up, right? and it's weird because like I both love and hate everything I get in, because there are some people where they only give me their lines and nothing else, and they cut it up and they make it nice and tidy. And it's like, all right, cool, this is great. Also, fucking thanks for being a little bit too close to the book. And then there's some people.
There's me.
Yeah, no, actually not. There's 3 levels then. And then there's some people where it's like, all right, I'm gonna give you a fucking 15 takes of this, and then I'm gonna, make comments here and there about this and that, and I'm gonna leave the bloopers in and all that. And that's I hate editing that, but at the same time, it's like, all right, this is funny. It's like I'm hanging out with my friends, let me go cut it up. And then you get fucking Steve, who is a pain in the ass to edit because he talks between all of his lines and doesn't fucking take a breath. So I have to like zoom in all the way and move the cursor to an exact fucking spot with no fucking lead time and cut the track exactly here, because he'll be, oh yeah, so this guy does this, and I got this joke about grenade wine cities, blah, blah. What are we doing about this? Okay, so anyway, you know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about some steak. I like doing this. Stick with dick in. It's like, dude, breathe. I love Steve, but breathe.
Oh, dude, no, there was that one where I had that coughing fit where I damn near fucking passed out mid-recording.
Yeah.
I was tempted. I was like, should I keep that? Fuck it.
Yeah. No, and ultimately, I do appreciate it more when people don't tidy up. I guess is the right word.
Yeah.
But it is.
But as long as that there's a definite break where you don't have to zoom all the fucking way in.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah, no, I get, but yeah, no, I've been having a blast doing this. You could definitely tell that since the first part where I tried being nice and tidy with it and everything like that, then I was like, fuck it, we ball.
Yeah.
Which, perfect. If anyone that's wanting to get into voice acting, one of the things I was doing, it's really easy. It's really easy. And like honestly, as long as you have a decent, like you can have a fucking laptop, have a decent fucking condenser, and you don't need to spend a lot of money on getting like a perfect fucking sound room and shit. I have
no, you can get like
thing
10 out of
here.
10 quality shit. Like
I have
that box thing. That's like what, $30?
No, it was like I think like between $15 and $30, and
Yeah,
and you can confirm like this has given the best quality.
No, it works, and like you can get
protection.
like a fucking like above fucking acceptable fucking microphone for like what? Well,
$80.
Not on sale 80, but like if you stalk the internet, you can get them for fucking 30. You just gotta like be patient and like wait for them to be on sale.
Yeah, I'm using the Logitech Blue Yeti.
Yeah,
and that's the average price for that I think right now is like $60.
Mm-hmm.
And
but if you wait until like Memorial Day or whatever, you can get them on sale for fucking dirt cheap.
Yeah, and like you don't need a powerhouse of a fucking
no, like 99% of the fucking issue is like in whatever software you're using to record, like making sure that your fucking recording levels are fucking right, which is which is a 20-minute YouTube dive.
Yeah, or you spend like 30 minutes dual recording, see how it sounds, mess with your sliders, start over and do it again. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And aside from that, like it's super easy. Like the biggest thing that I learned though is I listened to a few folks who have been voice actors for years. They had some tutorials that they had up on YouTube of not necessarily doing voices, but like just being comfortable behind the mic. Like they even said it doesn't have to be perfect every single time. You're going to mess
edit
up.
That's what editing's for. Like you can do.
But at the same time though, have fun while you're doing it. Like like feel free, like if you're mid-recording, break character, make a funny fucking joke, especially if that your inner child reads a line before you do and you can't help but fucking start busting your ass laughing and making a penis joke and shit like that.
You have to remind me later to fucking find it for you, but I have some commentary on several, I'm not going to say local rappers, but like regional rapper fucking tracks. And it's all like the intro shit. Like, the Guns N' Roses song fucking Knocking on Heaven's Doors, where like halfway through the song, it stops and there's like a weird phone call in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit. But I had one where, and the dude hated me for this, but like also loved me at the same time. But, I had a couple of lines in it, and it was like 4 lines. And I'm like playing a therapist talking to this dude. I sent him an hour and a half,
and he used
4 fucking lines. No, and he only used 5 seconds of it. But it was funny because I gave him like 5 good takes for what I thought he wanted, and I was like, "All right, listen, this is what I think you want. Now I'm going to give you what I think you want but you don't know how to ask for it. Here's 20 minutes of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone fucking having an argument with these lines." which by the way, if somebody sent me that, I'd be like, I'm getting a new voice actor, fuck you. But but good on him for having patience.
Oh yeah, and then but like if also like perfect example from like book 2 and 3, where I also did I think I did a German character with the accent and everything like that, is like there's videos online on how to actually get those accents, and you just need to listen to them. And what I would actually recommend doing is, like, while you're listening to it, have your headset on, but like actually start trying to speak it and not like the stereotypical German accent and shit like that. Like, you want it to be comfortable and natural, and you don't want it to sound like joking.
Yeah. Have you ever had any issues with voice confrontation when you first started hearing your own voice recorded? If by that you mean, do you hate your own voice? I still hate my own voice, and
I hate my own.
I really hate listening to these because it's my voice. I'm like, like even playing fetch, it's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, like I hate my voice because for me, my voice doesn't sound the same as it is coming out of my mouth compared to when it's recorded. And
I mean
it's weird.
that's a human phenomenon that happens with fucking everybody.
Yeah.
Travis and I were talking about this last night. But yeah, no, I was saying like if I'm talking, like the voice in my head that I sound like fucking one of the chicks in a fucking harem anime. Like in my head, I sound like Kichi Kite Kue. But like I go and listen to myself and it's like, so in real life I sound not quite Clint Eastwood, but like not like I'm in Tenchi Muyo. All right, fine.
Dude, I in my mind, I think I fucking sound normal. I think I don't have a super deep based voice in my head, but then when I listen to it, I'm like, why do I sound like I'm fucking 13?
Yeah, I don't know. To me, you sound like fucking I'm not saying you are, but you sound like dumb redneck John Candy.
Oh,
like
God.
not Canadian John Candy, but like fucking definitely like, okay, so are you from the Midwest or are you from fucking Florida?
You know what? I can respect that. I can respect that a lot. Which honestly is a better take than how I'm like, why the fuck do I sound like I'm a teenager that hasn't quite hit puberty yet, but is almost on the verge? Listen, just because I was in the Navy.
Yes, just because you're in the Navy. No. That was the other thing I was going to make funny about with the Greek thing earlier. I was watching a thing on what people want to, or who people want and why to be the next pope, and they were talking about these people, these cardinals from here and these cardinals from there, and there's one of them that's like they're talking about LGBT fucking issues, and they're like, yeah, so for most of them they're not cool with people being gay, except for the Greeks. They're very accepting of that, and like all I can think of is like, well, yeah, of course Greece is.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and like I'm not even Catholic, so like I'm.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is now your turn to ramble on for 35 seconds. I gotta go get some water real quick.
Yeah, you do that. Okay, so Dom, you're saying we need a trad pope. I don't know, man. We might get one. There's some dudes in the running for it. And it's weird because they're all over the place with everything. I don't know all their names because again I'm not Catholic. I might convert soon, but like I might actually have to start going to church first for that, but we'll see. Anyway, what is it that dude Sarah, the black dude, we were talking about this earlier. He's apparently super friggin' based. And he could be in for it. But then you have that Filipino dude, which is kind of a weird thing weird stance too, because like on one hand he's super pro LGBT, but besides that he's ultra conservative from what I've read. And then there's a guy, I think he's Polish, and he's kind of a weird guy too, because if I remember from what I'm reading right, like he's very pro immigration, but besides that, like completely alt-right, which it's one of those funny things because we like to look at it from the lens of American politics, but we all kind of forget that all American politics are in a bubble about this fucking big over here in the top right, because like if you look at it from like world stage politics, like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are the same fucking person politically. If you don't look at it through an American political lens. Yeah. So it's just funny how shit's all over the place. But you think the legit situation is a clone as we have being just put it in God's hands, fucking.
But the fact that when we were talking about how like that we found out that it doesn't have to be somebody chosen from the group of cardinals. That
it could be Mel Gibson. I'm here for Mel Gibson being pope.
Yeah. Or I made a joke before we started recording that watch Tripp's gonna go ahead and convert to Catholicism, be a part of the Catholic Church for like 2 months, and through some way, shape, or form, aka divine intervention, he becomes the Pope.
Yeah, I would not want that. Like, no, I'm good. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to be the president. Like, That's way well. The problem with that though is like anybody in a position to make any meaningful impact on society doesn't get to live in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because unfortunately they have to basically be the scientist on the outside of the experiment.
Yeah. Also, Ben Kenobi being Pope. Here's the thing about that. The only thing that would change if like the Catholic Church adopted, the Force was instead of saying "May the Force be with you" and then leaving it at that, it would be "May the Force be with you" and also with you. That's the only thing that would change.
Yeah.
Also, I haven't watched Angels and Demons in a hot minute. I remember the movie being good. I think it was Tom Hanks, right?
I haven't seen Angels and Demons. I know it's on Hulu, I think, or it's on Max.
I don't remember if it's a sequel to the Da Vinci Code or the Da Vinci Code is a sequel to it.
So the book wise, Angels and Demons came out first, and then the Da Vinci Code came out.
Okay. Yeah.
But
yeah, I remember it being a good movie, but I haven't seen it in a hot minute, and I haven't read either of the books.
I haven't read them either, but then again, also at the same time, I don't want to support anything that has Tom Hanks in it.
I mean, I remember liking him, but well, I mean, yeah. Okay, first off, I get where you're coming from, but for that to be a valid argument, you can't watch TV or movies.
That is also fair.
So,
which I don't really watch TV anyway nowadays. I'm mainly on YouTube.
Fucking YouTube series or short series or whatever the fuck they're called count to.
Yeah,
this isn't a TV show. It's just only on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, fuck. I want to say that the last thing I fucking watched was second season of Reacher.
Yeah, no, that is right. Fucking Ewan McGregor. I don't remember if he was in a satanic cult or if he was posing as someone in a satanic cult or if he was blackmailing a satanic cult. But it had something to do with Ewan McGregor being a cardinal or a bishop and then using that satanic cult in something in a manner that Alex Jones would be fucking infuriated about to position himself to be the next pope. That's what that was. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Fuck it. Dom the Builder for Pope.
No, we'll see, because like what they I don't know when they buried the old one, but I think they're supposed to get together on the 7th is when they're supposed to start their we're going to get together and decide.
Yeah. I do think it's hilarious that the Pope died shortly after meeting JD Vance.
Yeah, the memes are great. Although I've been watching a lot of Helsing about it. That clip about fuck the new Pope like is 10 out of 10 fucking gold. And I wish I could explain it to people, but I can't do it fucking justice. So like anybody watching, just go watch
Helsing Ultimate Abridged.
Stars. Yeah, Helsing Ultimate Abridged by Team 4 Star on YouTube. It's
specifically Hada 101. Already got some water. Thank you, love.
Well, I just saw your message. I'm in the middle of a game.
All right. Oh yeah, I just bought the wife the new Clara Obscura Expedition 33.
I have no idea what the fuck that is, but all right.
It's a new game, and apparently it is kicking AAA developers' ass, like all the AAA studios, because they did a fantastic story. The gameplay, takes, they get a similar idea from it. They're like they definitely have inspiration from different games, and they do pay homage to it, but at the same time, they do make it their own.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, I think you need a PS5 and a minimum for it. PS5, Xbox One.
Well, as far as plot and character and shit, I've been playing Doom 2, and it's been great because it's very much, I don't know who I am, I don't know why I'm here, I just know that I must kill.
No, yeah, it's just that meme of the dude in the fucking Russian armor is like, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I am. All I know is that I must kill.
Yeah. Also, Dom, I like that shirt where I like that Jesus shirt where he
fell with the cross and he's pushing himself back up, and the cross says "Sins of the World," and on the bottom it says "Bench press this."
Dude, I love like the multicultural Jesus stuff, like especially like in comment sections every once in a while where like somebody will say something stupid and a comment will be a picture of Jesus. And Jesus will be saying, "Yo, Black Jesus, do you see this?" And then the reply to that would be Black Jesus. He's like, what the fuck is this? Korean Jesus. And then the next one's Korean Jesus. Like, yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Crack House Basement Jesus. What the fuck?
Yeah, that or the one where somebody it's a really good painting. It's probably 10, 20 years old now, but it's Christ on the cross, and he's so fucking big that he makes Arnold Schwarzenegger look like a twink, and he's like breaking the fucking cross and going after the Romans.
Right? It's just Swole Jesus where he just
Yeah,
flexes.
Swole Jesus.
See, I'm partial to Pillarman Jesus from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
Everything is a JoJo's reference. You just don't know it.
You mean like in, what was it, book 5 or 6, where there was that weird autistic dude that wanted to kill the president of the United States and shot him and it hit him in the ear and missed?
Yeah.
That he wrote 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
I'm still upset that you played up Russia.
For what? The books? I'm sorry, man. It was before Ukraine. I thought they were a veritable threat. If I'd have known, I'd have made the books about a fucking actual competent enemy, like Bhutan or Belize
or the UK
or fucking Bolivia. And then it turns out that, like, oh yeah, the Bolivians are actually, being led by someone else. There's this fucking thing I saw. I gotta take a deep dive into it. So everything I'm about to say is not verified. I just heard one story once, and I gotta go look into it later. But there was a priest in Bolivia. Not a priest, a monk. There's a monk in Bolivia. That died in the 60s. And nobody really knew who he was. No one talked to him. He didn't go do mass or anything. But when he died, the FBI's got documentation that every SS fucking foreign officer that they were tracking went to this guy's funeral. And it's like, well, who was that monk? I got questions. Well, why did every former SS guy that the FBI and CIA were tracking in South America go to this guy's funeral?
Yeah, and the
What's
fact
up?
that, our Argentina, ironically, on the 1st of April, announced that, Hitler was alive. He was here and he had 2 daughters.
Yeah, on April 1st.
No, and then people are like, oh, ha, 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 April Fools. And then, a couple of days later, they're like, no, we're serious. It was just happenstance.
Well, then fucking release the documents, because I heard that. I was like, that's neat, but release the documents.
Yeah, so hopefully they do.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of shit that's going on that went on that's weird down there.
Bezos,
Fourth Reich down there.
Yeah, Bezos 100% faked that. Especially because if you watch the video of them landing, they opened the fucking door and then quickly shut it again before Bezos went up there with the special tool.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Dumb. Random. Do you think that Bezos faked the all-girl cruise space flight? Yeah,
probably not.
Probably
not,
it was
because in space is really just the fucking low orbit stratosphere, and
but at the same time though, when they landed and everything like that, they opened the door before they were supposed to, and then shut it again quickly before Bezos went up there with the special tool to open up the door. It was fucking hilarious. I didn't watch any of the shit. I just watched the thing of dude, this was just a whole clusterfuck, and they were clear fucking signs of them doing Illuminati fucking symbolism and shit. No burn marks. Well, then again, Triple saying though, they
didn't have to actually leave the atmosphere for that. The SR-71 goes into space, quote unquote.
Yeah, and then there's
just
also
because of what altitude it's at. So they could have gone to space, but really just been in a low orbit.
Or it could have been basically just a redo or a different way of those 0G flights that they do.
Yeah, well, I mean, but fucking SpaceX fucking and the guy from Virgin do that all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was one not too long ago where Bill Shatner went up there. So.
Yeah. But So yeah, no, yeah, I did miss certain characters because of a situation I was dealing with last year
It ends.
for the recordings. But you know,
Well, I mean that's a weird thing though too, because like we're not in pre-production for book 7 yet, but like that's going to be like next month.
yeah,
And like book 4 just got done. Like we're good and ahead on the production schedule, and it's good because like when we were doing the first book, it was like fucking I'd get a chapter done and it'd be like, all right, we're gonna put this on YouTube in like 2 days, and now it's like, all right, I'm getting a chapter done. This will be up in February. Yeah, February. Okay. So.
I think it's made out of
Yes, the
titanium.
SR-71 is made out of titanium, and it's really funny about that because all the titanium mines that we knew about when we were building that were in the Soviet Union, and we knew we had to build it out of that. So we made shell corporations because they wouldn't export titanium to us, but they would sell it to I don't know what countries,
Private entities.
but like say a construction company from Argentina that happens to be owned by a construction company in Mexico that happens to be owned by the CIA.
Yeah, but yeah, no, and if there was one plane that I could go for a joyride in, it would either be the SR-71 or the what was the plane from the first Top Gun movie?
Oh, the F-14?
Yeah, the F-14, dude.
Oh yeah, that'd be it. Okay, so for the book after CHainsmoke Your Problems Away, there going to be a lot of new characters. So I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but it's mostly carryover for book 5. Like
all but I think it's all but like a handful.
Let's see. So I want to say that not all of the characters from CHainsmoke Your Problems Away make it to More Than Liquid Dew of Youth, but 75-80% of the characters in book 5 were also in book 4.
And then it's almost the same with book 6, but you do have more characters introduced in book 6 also.
Yeah. But book 6 is a recipe of its fucking own. But like we're not gonna
get into that yet.
We're gonna dive into that yet. Fucking no spoilers or anything. But yeah, no, it's still about Thatch and them.
Yeah.
Also not big spoiler. But I guess one of the things though is like it got pointed out to me that there are spoilers just in fucking titles, but chapter 1 of book 5 is Karma's a bitch and so is Simone.
God, I hate that bitch so much.
Yeah, but I fucking love Hollis playing her though, and like I'm about a quarter of the way into editing fucking.
I'm sorry, but
so I'm done with book 5. But
what Hollis voicing Simone is just bringing back memories of this chick I went to fucking high school with that I just wanted to fucking just shove my fucking social studies book down her fucking throat.
Yeah. And one of the things I do appreciate about Simone's character is I've had so many fucking people over the years send me a DM on fucking Instagram or an email or text me or something, and it's like, hey, so how did you meet chick X? Because I dated that chick. I'm like, dude, I kind of made her up, but I'm glad that I fucking like hit that fucking nerve with you because, you know.
To be fair, she's just the embodiment of that one chick that you knew was not good for you, but you couldn't help it. But then, you know, unlike Thatch.
Right. Well, the other thing I wanted to do with her, though, when I was writing it, was I gave Hank the perfect wife.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I did not want to do the same thing again. Like, I didn't want to give Thatch someone that's like, hey, dude, day one, we're going to click, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to have a great fucking relationship. All the thick and thins, we're going to stick with each other through it. And no matter what happens, we're gonna make it fucking work. I didn't want to do that with Thatch.
Yeah. You didn't want him to have his ride or die.
Yeah. Which he did have ride or dies, but it was Chuck and Stockton.
Yeah.
So.
Spoiler alert for that, by the way.
Yeah.
You'll know when it happens. Just spoiler alert.
And then it will, and then it won't, and then it will, and then it won't. It kind of goes back and forth a little bit for reasons.
Yeah, reasons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the other things though is like, without all the twists and turns of what's going to happen after this, like even just through fucking book 4, fucking there's an incredible amount of fucking A, character development, but then like B, twists and turns, because like if you just heard or read a couple of like the last couple of chapters of CHainsmoke Your Problems Away, where it's like this dude's fighting with some fucking barracks rat and then they get stuck on a space station and zombies, right? And then you go back and you read the first chapter of book 1, where it's Hank and Doc going to a strip club and just being assholes, talking about like if there was a predator in Lord of the Rings. It's like, okay, well, how the fuck do you get from that point to this point?
Yeah.
Yeah. And not, it took my own horn, but I think I did kind of a good job on that.
Oh, you did a fantastic job. But I know that you're still dealing with that fucking hangover.
Yeah.
I am starting to get fucking tired, and well, there's my pussy. But
right.
Yeah, I'm fucking starting to,
bob for it.
Yeah. Before we fucking go, Dom, or anyone else, you guys got any other questions?
And then while they're let me look at the schedule real quick, because I don't know if I'm talking to anybody tomorrow. I'm not. But Monday I am talking to. Why is Cinco de Mayo doing that? That's not what I wanted. I'm talking to Diane, and then I'm talking to Pickle, and then on Tuesday I'm talking to Michelle. Wednesday I'm talking to Steve. And Michelle played fucking. What is it? Pickle played Duke. Diane played Okan. Michelle played Gladewine. Steve played a handful of characters. And then Friday, I'm talking to Ryan and Amy, and Ryan was a bunch of different fucking dudes. And Amy played Stockton. And then Saturday, I am talking to fucking Hollis. And then I got to figure out a Chuck in there somewhere. But he's got fucking whooping cough right now. Yeah, he told me that. I'm like, did you get that too? Did you get that on the fucking Oregon Trail? How's that dysentery doing, buddy?
Yeah, what is he? 2 years old?
Yeah, right. Jesus. But yeah, we'll see if we can fit him in there.
Although to be fair, he is a substitute teacher. So
no, he's an actual teacher.
He's a full-on teacher now.
Yeah. Well, no, because originally when we talked about doing these live streams, it was going to be me and him with everybody because he's narrating them. But he got whooping cough like he's fucking going to fight the fucking Confederates. Like, yeah. All right.
No. So the trips are going to be doing the live streams.
Everybody based on live streams are going to be different. On Tuesday when I'm talking to Diane, I have her set to talk to her at 3 p.m. East Coast time because she's in England, and then that night I'm going to talk to Pickle at 9. Michelle will probably be later at night on Tuesday, but I don't have a time set yet. Steve will also be at like 7 or 8. On Friday, when I talk to Ryan, that'll be at 2 or 3 p.m. East Coast time because he's in Europe. And then Amy will be that night. And then Hollis will probably be also in the evening. I will give you forewarning on Hollis, though, because I love her to death, and we've done several fucking live streams, but we're going to talk about the books for exactly 2 seconds. And then we're going to talk about how while Italians are cool, fucking the Romans were pieces of shit and the Etruscans were neat. And then we're going to talk about food, and then we're going to talk about sex.
ADD fucking.
And then we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons for the entire fucking time. She's great. I'm going to definitely suggest fucking checking that one out because she's a fucking hoot. but that one's gonna be ADHD as shit.
Yeah, I do need to be able to hop on one of these calls one time with Hollis.
Yeah, no,
And
she's looking good.
Yeah. Like I messaged Diane on Instagram the other month. I was like, hey, if you ever come to Texas, let me know. I'll take you and your husband out hog hunting.
Yeah.
Although if that's the case, you're gonna have to fucking be here for that.
Yeah, no, I fucking was talking to her a couple of years back, and this is back when I was still, I don't want to say gun tubing, but like definitely gunstagramming.
Yeah.
And we had a whole fucking side combo on like, we don't have guns here. I'm like, I know you don't have guns there, but I'm curious. I'm like, yeah, I'll talk to you about them. But yeah, you know, her husband is a fucking, I mean, he's a comedian and a director and a producer and all that, but like he does like Formula One.
Fucking what?
Yeah.
Dude, like that, like going into the fucking Formula One, man, that like people don't realize that you have to be in like Superman shape for that shit.
Yeah, he's kind of got some weird shit because like he's not on social media a lot, but then like when he is, it's like, hey, I'm at a club doing this, come check me out tonight. Or it's like, hey, fucking 10 years ago I was a fat piece of shit, now I look like Jason Statham. And it's like, good for you, Diane. Good for you.
But yeah, but like,
yeah, he's cool though. He's cool though.
Yeah, like people don't realize that. Like they're like, oh, they're just a race car driver. I'm like, do you not understand the amount of fucking G forces that they're dealing with? Just stopping.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you on the flip side. I will see you a bunch of times over the next fucking week. And stay tuned for fucking Smokepit Fairytales 5, which is chapter 1, I guess will hit YouTube on the 14th.
Yeah, and then I'll be with you in your ear holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them. All right.
All of in them ear holes.
Yeah. On that. Yes.